Welcome back to my channel, fellow gardeners. Today I want to introduce how to propagate a Tillandsia plant. The type of Tillandsia plant that I want to introduce you to is called the Pink Quill. And basically propagation is very easy. You can actually, out of one plant, you can make a lot of babies. So welcome back. My name is Alice and I'm the Red Soil Gardener. So this is my Tillandsia. Now the beautiful thing about Tillandsias, first of all, is that they grow in the rainforest, and what they do is they grow in between the branches, they sometimes grow on the floor, and basically they are rainforest plants, so this is a great visual. Now the thing about the Tillandsia also is basically it is related to the bromeliad family. And because it's related to the bromeliad family, the propagation is more or less the same. Now we have two different ways that you could actually propagate. You could do a soil propagation, which I will do, but then you could also do a propagation, get your pup, because they do, like all bromeliads, they do produce pups. But then you could actually hang it on a tree, because these plants, like many others, are actually air plants. So what happens with air plants, they don't need to be soiled. They get their nutrients from the atmosphere, from the moisture in the air, and from there they get their water and their nutrients. Now, this beautiful Tillandsia is called a pink quill. Now, what happens is with this particular plant, it does flower. These are the bracts, and sometimes you do get bracts that are slightly pink in color, and this is where the plant's flower will come from. So suddenly you could wake up, and out of the side of the bract, you get this lovely violet or with a fuchsia red color, that's what I get, suddenly popping up. But this flower only lasts a few days. These bracts, which actually add a bit more mystery to the plant, actually will stay on the plant for a couple of months, a few months, and they will remain there, and then later they will dry out. And I have seen that within the bracts you do get seeds, but I've never propagated using seeds. So once again, let's look at the forest. So when we look at the forest and think, what sort of soil do you want? You want an organic mix, something that is suited even for orchids, which has a lot of drainage. It has a lot of organic matter in it, and that's the sort of soil I would actually plant my Tillandsia pink quill in. What sort of light requirement does it need? In a forest, indirect, bright indirect light. If you do put it in in full sun, you will burn the leaves, and then they will sort of, I did remove some here, but they will go brown. Now, the other thing is that water requirement. Again, as we mentioned, it is an air plant. So basically with air plants is that they get their nutrient from the moisture in the air, the water and whatever nutrients it gets. So one can actually water it if you use it as a house plant, maybe once every 3 weeks. But other than that, it does tolerate drier climates, because it also does grow in deserts. So it is quite a versatile type of plant, so I wouldn't worry too much about it. Now, the only thing about it also, it does like good air circulation. Now, what happens is that, as we know, when a plant is really, really bushy and you don't have a really good air circulation, you do get, the plant will attract things like mealybugs. And also what I've seen here is that the slugs do like to live here. So every time I go into the plant, I always manage to pick a slug or two. But I wouldn't be too worried, because I don't see the slugs actually eating the foliage, because it is quite tough, because I think that they just go there to hang in. So now with propagation, let's look at it. So like all bromeliads, is that you do get a mother plant. I'm just going to pull this out. You do get a mother plant like all bromeliads. So what happens with most bromeliads is that once the mother plant does flower and then it actually does die, but in between that process it produces pups, and that's exactly like this Tillandsia. So if we look at this Tillandsia, which was like this, I could actually go into it and I see a lot of pups. So look, I'm separating one pup here. So I'm just going to cut it here. Get it away from the mother plant. I could actually just pull it away like that. So that's one pup. As we've seen here, it actually is quite mature. And then I'm going to look in here again. I see another pup here. Look at that. So here we go. That's another pup. And as we've seen with these pups, once it's flowered, we get so much formation of pups. And actually, there's even pups on the side, but this is how we'll leave it. So basically, this plant here, oh my gosh, there's another one. So here we are. We've got 4 pups. Now, basically, with these pups, I could actually just take it like this and actually just hang it in maybe on one of my plants, and it will actually take off without water. However, for propagation purposes, for those who do keep them indoors, I think it's better to have them in a pot. So what I've done with this pot here is just a simple organic soil. So all I'll do is just take it, put it in here like that, and bag it there. And then I could take this one and remove all this foliage to make it look neat. Yep. I might even cut a few of these. And I wouldn't be scared to actually to remove the pups, because I know sometimes is when one has to actually go in and pull the pups apart, is one does get scared that maybe it won't grow again. But these Tillandsias, the red, purple, the pink quill, is actually quite a sturdy plant, and it will take off. So here is another one. Just remove the ones which are bent. The bent one. And so with this one, I will put it here. So I think with my pink quill and its little pups, I think it will be quite happy here. So I'm just going to put that aside, and then I'm going to conquer this one. So once again, we'll do exactly the same, because there's a lot of broken leaves here, and we do want it to look attractive. So I'm just going to remove those, and then I'm going to cut the ones that are bent like this, just to give it a neat look. Remove that, remove that. So what I'm going to do with this plant is, as it is an air plant, I will take it and put it in an area where it's got a bit of humidity, where it has indirect sun, and I'm going to place it there, and then we can follow it up on Instagram, where I'll take pictures of it, and if it does produce more pups and flower, we will include that. So come with me. Here I am in my own little patch in my hedge, and I do have an orchid in here. As you can see, it actually has started growing, and I thought, because basically the air plant, my pink quill, can actually fit here, and then we just leave it here. I'm just going to hook it here like this. like that. So basically I'm hooking it in here with this orchid that is growing here at the back, and I'm just going to leave it like that so it gets its moisture and its nutrient from the air, and once it does flower we will follow it up. So thank you so much for joining me on this episode. Don't forget to like and share, and also press that notification button. And don't forget, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on YouTube, and do send me a comment. And don't forget to subscribe, because it does mean a lot to us. And I thank all those people who've supported us all through the years. But so, fellow gardeners, happy gardening, and do get yourself a pink quill, because when they do flower, it is so dramatic and just adds that extra color into your garden. Bye.